There is many markets you can tap into your game with when it comes to design and how the game functions. Some would want an average shooting game or an average RPG adventure. Some may just want to do some weird shit to attempt to stand out. This is the WarioWare series, involving a fatter Mario doing random shit with a crazy cast of characters. The gameplay is usually consistent of microgames that make you do wild shit quickly. And with the newest game in the franchise, Get It Together, it follows the formula while also doing its own thing. It was first revealed in a Nintendo Direct at E3 2021 with a release date of September 10th of 2021 across the world. I got it for Christmas of that year, and days later I started to play it. Is this a game with humor that can become something unique, or is it just another average game? This is the myth, the legend, Squidward 5, and what the fuck is a WarioWare? A video essay on WarioWare Get It Together. Since this is a short game, I'll only do two categories, one for story and presentation and the other for gameplay and extras. Let's just start it already. The story is rather basic, but this is a short game, so there's that. Wario and his company are making a video game until they realize that the video game itself is filled with bugs, and all of the characters were transported into this game and were made into micro versions of the characters. After getting rid of the bugs, a character named Supreme Developer put them in the game to stop them and then returned back to their original home. It was revealed that Wario was the one who put the bugs in the game because he was super careless and everyone was pissed. Until they realized that some characters haven't been found yet and they had to go back and save them. And in the game world, you would find these broken gold parts that Wario was obsessed with because he represents the average American who wants to be rich by playing the lottery. Dr. Cygor, one of the party members, decided to call his granddaughter Penny, no offense to Inspector Gadget, for help. They combine the pieces to make a watering can, to grow a beanstalk to climb it. The can disappears and the final battle begins with some mystery object which would later to become Pyro, a character based off a popular game in the game's universe. And then Wario complains because he has no treasure, and then the game ends. The story, I would say, is extremely average because it wasn't anything too major, and it does the job and gives the reason as to why you're doing any of this to begin with. Most of the characters that the game has doesn't do jack shit and only there because of fan service or because of how the game is set up. Yeah, and each time they introduce a character, they give them a basic bio about them before a mission starts, but that's really it. As for presentation, it does the best they can with its colorful, wacky art style, which I think is why some may like or be interested in the WarioWare series. And the music I completely forgot about because it just exists. Overall, the story itself does its job at giving the reason as to why you're doing any of this and how the game maintains that art style with its basic one they always use and with the game world. A reason why the WarioWare games are fun for some folks is due to the microgames that really make it fun to play with. Each one feels unique and has a ton of character to help it stand out. Some standouts include the Nintendo ones where they use actual Nintendo games for some of them, and a couple of them have some expressive reactions to certain things like the ice cream one. Let's talk about how they're organized. It is put in a generic overworld setup and you choose 3 to 5 characters for your mission. The first spot is always a new character you haven't done yet, so it makes it slightly limited, and you would do 15 to 20 of them at a time, and it includes a boss fight at the end. You're given 4 lives to do it, and if you fail all 4 times, you have to redo it or just spend coins and you can pick up where you left off. Here's the thing, the game gives you way too much coins and to retry is 100. And you would be given 1,000 coins every time you beat a stage. And this could make the game too easy personally, since when you die, you would have many chances to redo it, since you're given too many coins, which doesn't really make the game all that difficult. After the first few levels, you would have a fuck ton of coins to use and doesn't really add too much. And the coins would make you restart the micro game, but another thing is that if you fail a micro game, you don't redo it, but rather move on. This could have been a good opportunity to include a grading system to indicate how well you did on those micro games. And to move on, you would need to have a certain grade to move, like a B or A range. And to move on, you would need to have a certain grade to move on, like a B and A range. That way, it would have helped add some challenge to the game, and instead of paying to do it again. I'm not saying remove this feature, but rather make some other feature that would add a challenge for new players. There were many microgames I could have done better, such as the ice cream one and the juice one, aka the hardest minigame of the bunch. And this one is also a boss, so there's also that. After going through the campaign and defeating the final boss of the game, which would end up being a playable character to some extent, you have other stuff to do if you don't care about playing other video games. You have a handful of multiplayer modes you can use and some leaderboard stuff, but I didn't really give a fuck about some of this shit. Like I did one of these weekly challenges, but it wasn't impressive. And I think I did one other thing, but I'm not too sure. Overall, the gameplay on paper can be fun and energetic, but things around it can feel lackluster for me. This game may not be for me or how it's a quick experience, but WarioWare has a good foundation in terms of what it wants to be, but things around it may make it too easy or too quick of a game to play. I get these are micro games and they can be fun when you're in the right mindset, but maybe I'm missing something here that would otherwise make the games likable. This game has many multiplayer modes, so I'm assuming that it's probably made as a party game. You can play with up to 4 people, and in the campaign you can have up to 2 people playing it. I do see some folks liking what is shown according to the chart I found on Google, so yeah, people are having fun with this. I would personally give it a 6 out of 10, as although it has a great foundation, there is some details I'm just not understanding with this game. Maybe if I played this game with other folks or somewhat have an open mindset about this game, I could have been much more positive. If you're interested in this game, then give it a shot and see if you find it to be a good game, and maybe play it with more than one person for the full experience. Wario does poo-poo in the toilet. I'm assuming this is a reference. That's it.
It's a wonderful day to go out and play. Hey, maybe you could come along. All you need to bring is a song to sing.